right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk was shot dead while speaking at an event at a university in Utah. Madness.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
It is crazy. So, yeah, Charlie Kirk is obviously right-wing political commentator. He's come out. He's one of these people that, again, you know, we live in this time where we have so many divisive figures, you know, on the internet. So, and obviously this time that we're living in right now, you know, whether it's in America, whether it's here. You know, I think it's safe to say, like, racial tensions are high, but it's never as bad as the media try and portray. Do you know what I mean? But when the race riots happen over here in the UK, you know, obviously we weren't getting attacked. People of colour weren't getting it. Well, people like us weren't, but there were other people of colour, you know, that were getting attacked, and mosques were getting defaced, and so much fear, you know, that was getting spread around the country, you know. So, yeah, Charlie Kirk, a few things about him. He's someone who's against DEI and affirmative actions, affirmative action. So, essentially, these are American policies that are being put in place to give more opportunities to disadvantaged groups, you know, so the ethnic minorities, gay people, people with disabilities, essentially. But since Trump's been back in power, he's just doing all he can to just abolish, you know, these initiatives, you know.
Trump.
Shout out to MAGA.
So I think that was a joke.
You never know these days.
Well, exactly. I don't know who to sometimes. So good.
And also he's had segments on black privilege in which he's asserted that black people are overrepresented in TV adverts. He says black people are more likely to be accepted into a college over their white counterparts, and he's also said the same thing with black people when it comes to corporate jobs as well. So, so black people are in an advantageous position in society. So, so essentially, he doesn't believe in DEI and affirmative action, and you should pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Nonsense. Type of thing.
Can you imagine?
Include one of his sound bites are, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
in another attack on DEI programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and in an attack on wokeness, etc. Right-wing organizer, I guess I would call him, Charlie Kirk, said that when he gets on an airplane and he sees a black pilot, folks, he says he sees a black pilot, he's worried about whether the pilot is actually qualified. Now, this comes after Charlie Kirk questioned the worth of Martin Luther King Day. Let's take a listen to it and then let's discuss.
And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off. And I feel better now thinking about that. No, I mean, like,
you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality.
It actually sounds like it is. This is the movement that he has inspired. Now, I've heard similar stuff about female pilots, and often it starts with, I'm sorry, but. When you hear I'm sorry, but, it's very often something horribly sexist, racist, or xenophobic that's coming. Now, there's a couple different aspects to this. The reality is that there is a long history of excellence in flight among Black Americans. You look up the history of chief pilots at airlines. It feels stupid to even do this part of the story, because it's almost like we're arguing the facts, and this is actually about ideology. This isn't really he's obviously wrong on the facts. Now, I hate to tell Charlie and maybe his cohorts here who feel the same way. Because of the pilot shortages that have been experienced by airlines, the standards have dropped in general. It's not about race. It's not about gender. It's not about affirmative action.
Right. You know, in America, there's a shortage of pilots in America, you know, so just for the record, people, you know, just a bit of context on when he said this. Again, I don't really follow Charlie Kirk, but obviously I do follow online personalities in America, so I do see bits and bobs of Charlie Kirk that appear online to make my mind up about this type of person. You know what I'm saying? So, and he also said, I think empathy is made up, a new age term that has done a lot of damage. Yeah. So
Natter.
this is a summary of what, but he's again. I think not again, but I think you should know he's not. You know when you have divisive people, you know me, I like charismatic and animated talkers.
Characters, yeah.
This is what people are drawn to a lot of the time, but he's not one of those people. He's subtle. He's a subtle, like, bigoted person. You know what I'm saying? You got to really, because he's not going to do the explosiveness and all the animated, you know, theatrics. You know, so he almost slides through the net, but if you listen to him closely, you know what I'm saying?
You have to really pay attention for it
you know
not to go over your head.
Exactly.
He's got prejudice, for sure. But these people have been legitimized. This is the thing. They're playing a part in sort of this the racial tension.
Of course.
That's going on, you know, in America. So, yeah, it was last night. This happened on the 10th. Last night before I was about to go to bed, my friend sent me a screenshot of Candice Owens talking about this. She's saying she can't believe what's happened. She can't process it. Candice Owens.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a regular feature. She's a regular feature on this channel.
Candice Sambo.
Yes, exactly. Owens.
So, I mean,
Candice Sambo Owens. It's got a ring to it.
It's got a ring, for real. But
you know,
that's crazy. But hold on.
Yeah.
What? Who said if he sees a pilot, a black pilot,
if he's a black pilot,
qualified?
this is the guy. Charles.
What the heck?
You're gonna be like, boy, I hope
How
he's
the heck?
qualified.
Just before we carry on, just not to speak ill of the dead, because also we have to remember that this person's passed away. You know.
What did he say? Not
shot.
speak ill
So
of.
what's that supposed to mean?
No, I mean,
Sharon?
okay, that's a very good. I feel like this is also one of the things I want to highlight, right? We're in such a polarizing space in our world, right?
Yeah.
Where I saw that look yaks, where we're at extremes. Everyone has such powerful and such
extreme views,
right? And someone like Charlie Kirk, all of those things you've mentioned are abhorrent. They're horrible. They're a way for you to suggest, imply, infer that your black counterparts or citizens in the world don't deserve certain rights that they should have.
considering
Considering the American history. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not trying to condone that, but what I do want to highlight is that sometimes when these people, something as horrible as this happens, we can lose our humanity. Because, what I want us to focus on, or what I would like this to show, is that look at what the world is, look at what's happening. Where in the world can you imagine that someone can just go and shoot somebody in the middle of a speech?
broad
Daylight. Like, this is where we are right now. This is not. He's not a registered. Is he a politician?
No, he's not. We don't.
So this
I
is a
understand what
strong
you're
person. Do you see what I mean? And that's
Neither's
why
Candice
but that's
Owens.
why Candice is losing her mind and she's scared.
she's a
She
cheerleader.
can't process it. It could be you. I'm not saying that,
yeah,
but if
exactly.
you are
Candice
not,
Owens.
and that's what I mean
Hope
about
you're
being
listening.
careful about how you speak. I'm not trying to say people shouldn't say what's right and what's fair and you say your opinions, but be mindful of other people. You live by the sword, you will also die by it.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you can separate the person and what's happened to the person
Fair point.
and what the person actually represented and what they said. Yeah? Because fair enough about what's happened to him, but what did he do with his mouth and his words? Because that can also be deemed as him shooting other people,
Wow.
right? With very dangerous words that, affect a whole society and community. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but we can separate it. You don't have to necessarily, feel a certain type of way about what's happened to him in order to address what he's saying. Because what he said was dangerous. There are lots of people who lots of dictators or people like King Leopold. Yeah? If we were in a time when he got, when he died, are we going to be like, let's be careful, Banange? How are we going to speak about King Leopold because the man, no. People are not going to care because the man was a devil.
Officers also using tear gas to try to dispel people who were protesting against police brutality. Earlier in the day, before the clashes, peaceful protesters climbed the statue to Belgium's colonial King Leopold II, waving the flag of the Democratic Republic of Congo. His rule oversaw the deaths of an estimated 10 million people in what was then the Belgian Congo.
And he should have they shouldn't even call him a king anymore, by the way. So you see, but the things that he did, we have to talk about that separately. We have to address it. Otherwise, we'll get lost in, this bad thing happened to him. So,
do you
see what I'm saying?
We have to pray and be empathetic and sympathise, and that's what we hear a lot.
Pray.
With the rhetoric. With
over these people, like,
black people.
Almost
like, are you doing the kumbaya, Sharon?
Well, no, I'm not doing the kumbaya. But I do what I do. I just want us. I'm not doing the kumbaya. But I just feel like I don't want, to hear like it's not. We shouldn't be joyful that someone has passed away.
He was a close associate to Donald Trump, and Trump said it's a sad day for America. I didn't ever hear about Trump saying that when Martin Luther King got murdered.
You see, Malcolm X
got murdered. When Fred Hampton got murdered.
Patrice
when
Lumumba.
Huey P. Newton got murdered. I'm talking about black Americans. American citizens. America's a multicultural country, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Right? So that says a lot. They've got criminal power. So I don't expect anything less from Trump. So where you've had honourable men, forget the colour of their skin, people who have gone down in history, for their efforts for humanity, they wasn't always liked,
Right.
Trust me, MLK was despised just as much as Malcolm X, but because he was a darling for white America, they romanticized Martin Luther King more, where X wasn't playing that game.
Right.
You play fire with fire.
Yeah.
That's the only language.
So they did not feel
That's the
sorry
only
for him
language.
one single bit.
These people understand. So when this happened to someone like Charlie Kirk, and from what I've seen of him online, I can't sympathize. I'll be a hypocrite if I say I do. I'd be a hypocrite, you know. And furthermore to that, a lot of people, let me know what you think. I was saying, because with Charlie Kirk, he's pro-Israel, you know, very divisive in his language. He manipulates language really well. He's very subtle, but what he's saying is...
diabolical.
Right. There's more to this than...
meets the eye.
Wow.
You can't speak about Epstein.
No,
Honestly.
but a lot of people do.
And it depends who...
Russell Brand, maybe because Russell Brand don't live there. But at the end of the day, true power, we don't know how true power works. We're not behind the scenes with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also, it doesn't mean that we're stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
As the masses.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they can't tell us everything.
Right.
That's why they got to, you know, lie about things. They can't be truthful and honest enough to be like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So if you guys are so big and bad and powerful, why don't you tell us the truth then? Something tells me you're fearful about public outrage. And
But
do you see where I'm
the
coming from?
people are the real power, though.
There we
That's
go.
why they can't tell the truth.
What?
Because
Right.
the people outnumber the powers that be.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of however many weapons they might have. The people outnumber them. So they can't tell the truth. But in terms of
What a
who
shame.
speaks on this, that guy, I don't like his name.
Epstein.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who speaks on him? You know, it depends who's speaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people can talk about him and it doesn't matter.
And if you think about
Do you know what I mean?
and if
So
you
it's-
think about what Epstein represents, what he really represents about the state of play in terms of the elite and what's really going on up there, you can't open your mouth to speak about that, especially like haphazardly. You know, like there's
As
things
far as someone
that
like
you can't-
Ghislaine,
Yeah.
or are you saying like just any average?
Ghislaine is part of it. She's part of this.
She's
whole
powerful
madness.
though,
Yeah,
isn't
she is.
She
exactly.
is,
She's
but again,
behind
she hasn't
bars.
thrown. She's not throwing Trump under the bus. And there's
Yeah,
so
because
many.
she'll end up in the same situation as Epstein. The thing with him, he wanted to get out of prison. He said, guys, I have some cards that you guys think I don't have. So let's do a quick thing and get me out of here like you did before. And they were like,
It's
we
interesting
can't
saying
this
that
time
because the way
because you've been getting a lot of young girls. It's too much. So they had
Hundreds
to.
upon hundreds.
Ghislaine's like, I'll do my time. I'll do my little time, but she's going to get pardoned. I
there's
guarantee.
a lot of mind games though,
She will,
isn't there?
of course, because these guys play a
High
different
level
game.
mind
They
game.
don't play the normal game like us
Yeah.
playing,
No, exactly.
paying our council tax.
Do you understand?
You know, us going to like our little Sainsbury's and Lidl. They don't do
In-house
that.
fighting in the club.
Do you think that those people? Do you think that those people know what's in their fridge when they go home to eat? Do you think that those people know how much the electricity bill in their house costs? They don't. That's
They're on
not
a
their
whole
things
different
that they're
level.
worrying about.
Yeah.
So their conversations, their mindset, it's literally life and death. The game that these people are, well, this is, if you play with fire, you will end up. I mean, I just.
So he played the wrong chess move.
I'm a bit of a softie. I'm like, oh my gosh, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, what's the world coming to? You know, even yesterday, I was just sending a message to my auntie. I'm like, auntie, I might need to get a passport, you know, for Uganda because I'm worried. Like, the UK,
You have
the
to.
UK is getting crazy. Have you seen all these
is
flags?
getting
All these
crazy.
flags everywhere.
Two councils have sparked controversy after taking down St George's and Union Jack flags. They were put up in Tower Hamlets in London and in Birmingham as part of a campaign that has been gathering momentum online.
With some arguing the St George's and Union flags have been co-opted by far-right groups. Is it, in fact, provocative or patriotic to raise these flags?
I have a little something to add on to that.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about politics, right? The people that back politicians or that back, let's say, for instance, in America, they have, let's say, someone like Elon Musk that was backing Trump. The way it works, it operates is they invest in their political campaign, right? Even somewhere like, let's say, the United Kingdom, for instance, someone like Bill Gates will come and says, "Oh, where do you think all the money comes from? First of all, we need to pay for this economical structure."
Lobbyists.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to pay for this economical structure. We need an investment, or 16 or 50 billion pounds, so on and so forth. So the country would not pay them back. They're not the nicest people in the world. We know Bill Gates does all these other things.
Yeah.
It's not for free, right? The way it works is cool, I will give you 50 billion for whatever it is that you guys need. What I want you to do is to implement this law into your system.
Lobbying.
So that once in the future, like for instance, the situation you guys are just talking about right now, she is in a position where she's been invested into the system. She has some certain things that are in the system where when the time is right, she'll play her card.
Yeah.
She's got leverage against people.
To have leverage against political leaders. She has leverage against people that are in the system, that are high up in there, that when her time comes and those people are in power, they will release her.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, interesting point. That's what, you see, this is what makes me realize she was the mastermind.
Yeah.
Behind the Epstein,
that's what
lady
the Netflix documentary
Ghislaine.
was essentially.
Yeah, exactly. She was the madame. She's the mastermind because she's playing with keeping her life alive, basically.
100%. Even these people that are supposedly in jail, then they're just, I wouldn't say in jail. They're just in a remote place somewhere.
They're just waiting. They're in a waiting room
for their own time to do. They
won't
cannot be in the public.
They won't be with general population.
They would not be in the general population.
Yeah.
Because the way it is now, it's now recalling back, and these clauses or these laws that are added and are seemingly like ineffective, but they work well for them. For instance, like this thing going back to what's his name, Bill Gates, that he's trying to invest in Nigeria or whatever in the system. He has laws that are going to be put into place in Nigeria that when he does something or if he wants to do something, he can bypass the government.
Yeah.
He can bypass the president or whoever's in place and do it because he has the right to. Because his company or his entity
has invested
into the company.
Yeah.
And then he'll just be like, it seems simple. It's like, just make sure that if a company let's say for instance, just hypothetically, he'll be like, a company can run from presidency. In 10 years' time, he can come to Nigeria and be like, me as Bill Gates, as an entity, I'm running for presidency in this country.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say nothing.
You can't say nothing.
Well,
definitely.
I think they stopped Charles Kirk before he could get
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, yeah, before he could. Sorry, yeah, but his name is probably Charles. Anyway, I don't know. I feel so nervous talking about this man, because it's so soon. Like I want this story to develop.
There's a pattern.
I think it should develop because
even
what
with
you
Trump's
mentioned is right.
attempted assassination, people were saying, it was staged. They didn't really like.
I believe it was staged as well.
Yeah,
I believe it's staged.
Fair enough. Okay, what are the takeaways then? Someone like Charlie Kirk.
We're going to be able to understand the temperature in America, like the racial climate that's there. And you have to understand, America is such a massive power. It has so much. It has so much of a impact on the rest of the world. Whatever happens there, they're nonsense. Like they can't seem to manage or control. It spreads. You know, it filters into the rest of the world. So I think it's so new. I'd like to see what happens.
Hey, Black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time, and it needs to actually have
why would you?
Because it's true. Because it's like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question: when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian?
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
I think this is a prime example of the devil's chickens coming back home to roost. That the chickens that he sent out, the violence that he's perpetrated in other countries, here and abroad, be it 4 children in Birmingham or Medgar Evers or Lumumba in Africa, I think this same violence has come back to claim one of their own. Now, being an old farm boy myself, chickens coming home to roost never made me sad. In fact, it's only made me glad.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. But